Welcome, fellow bookworms, to Tibra's Den. My name is Whitney, and today I have the final haul of what I'm calling my book buying binge. Definitely went a little bit crazy, got a little excessive, but these final set of books are ones that, when I was kind of doing my buying and such, were on my radar, and I was really interested in getting, minus two of them, which I only got because thrift books screwed up, and so I needed to add some books in order to not pay shipping. But the rest of them were just kind of on my radar. Some of them I kind of looked over when I was doing my buying. I came across them, and then I ended up not getting them, which I was kicking myself for. So I ended up ordering them and such. But yeah, this is kind of the final set. Everything else that is kind of on my radar and I am interested in getting, I'm not like dying to have in my hands right now. So I am done. And me and my husband promised each other, like, he kind of went on a binge with his game too. And so we promised each other, like, we need to stop, let the bank account catch back up, and we're giving ourselves a budget each month. And so that way maybe we can avoid going on binges again. But yeah, we'll go ahead and go into this. Before I do though, if you could go ahead and give this video a like, it really does help out the channel. And then don't forget to subscribe, hit the bell notification so you don't miss out on things. So the first books I'm going to be talking about, I ended up getting because this month I read Tiger's Curse and Tiger's Quest for my 25 Days of Bookmas books, and I had gotten this one because my husband and sister-in-law had picked out Tiger's Quest, and so obviously I wanted to start at the beginning of the series, so I got Tiger's Curse. I ended up falling in love with the series. I wasn't even entirely sure I was going to read both of these books this month. Ended up reading them back to back, like I could not get enough. And so my husband ended up stopping at the little local independent used bookstore and seeing if he could find any more of the series, because there's 5 books plus a like little prequel novella. And so he found the third one, which is Tiger's Voyage, and yeah, absolutely loved this book too. Read it right away. This one was by far my favorite. It has dragons that are kind of have different ties to like elements and such. Like, it's so much fun. And so yeah, I ended up reading this one right away, but they didn't have any of the other ones, so I ended up having to order them. So of course I did, and so I got Tiger's Destiny, which I haven't read yet. I've been trying to prioritize the reads I need to prioritize, but I'm still hoping to get to these this month if possible. And so this is, of course, the 4th book in the series. And then you have a big old chunker of a book, and this is Tiger's Dream, which is the 5th book. Which makes sense because you had 4 gifts that they were supposed to get to break the curse, and then you had 5 sacrifices, which we still don't know a whole lot about. So it makes sense that there would be 5 books in the series. And then the little novella is Tiger's Promise. And like I said, this is kind of a prequel and kind of the story of how Ren and Kashan ended up getting cursed in the first place. So basically the premise of Tiger's Curse is you have these 2 Indian princes who were cursed to be tigers. And so Kelsey is kind of our heroine of the story, essentially. And she comes along and they have to go on these quests in order to obtain these gifts. And every time they obtain a gift, the boys can stay as men a little bit longer. Like initially it's 24 minutes. And then they get 6 hours, then 12 hours, etc. And so each time they obtain a gift, they can stay a little bit longer. But these quests are very dangerous, of course, and you have a lot of Indian mythology and a lot of other mythology in there as well. And I like I said, I absolutely fell in love. Like, I cannot get enough of this. It's very dramatic. The relationships are very back and forth, kind of a love triangle there, but I was just eating them up. So I really can't wait. Like, every time I'm reading another book, I kind of look at them, but I know I have other books I need to read in order to stay on track. But like I said, I'm gonna try to sneak them in. There's not much of the month left, but I'm gonna try to sneak them in for sure. So that's kind of the premise of the Tiger's Curse saga. And like I said, I absolutely love the books, and so I can't wait to jump back in. The next one I got was one that I really wanted to pick up. I did come across it, but it was a little bit expensive at the little local, because it's a used bookstore, but they have a small selection of new releases. And that's Kaikeyi by Vaishnavi Patel. Sorry if I did not pronounce that right, but so yeah, I was kicking myself for not picking this up, and especially after reading, the Tiger's Curse saga, the first couple books, like I was like, I need more Indian, stuff. And this is obviously based on the Indian epic, um, and it follows Kaikeyi's story, who's kind of seen as not so good. And I've heard just amazing things about this. This one is another one that if I have time, I'm going to try to sneak it in this month. But if not, I'm definitely want to read it next month for sure. So that's the other one I got. And so those ones I got Kaikeyi from Pingo Books actually. And then I got the other ones, I believe I ended up ordering them from Amazon, if I'm recalling right, because thrift books, they didn't have all of them, and it was just kind of a deal. So those are those taken care of. Next up, I was supposed to get, I'll include a picture, on the screen. It was supposed to be Silhouette's Summer Sizzlers, which has Nora Roberts' Impulse. It has two other authors, the titles being Ravished and The Road to Mandalay, I believe. So obviously came across, they had a copy on thrift book, so I was really excited for that. I already have Impulse. Like I said, I've completed my Nora Roberts collection at this point, but I do have some of the Silhouette special editions on my shelf with my Nora Roberts collection. And so as I come across them, I'm like, oh, it'd kind of be fun to get those. So I was really kind of excited for it, and they ended up sending me the 1988 Christmas gift, and it's called Christmas Magic by Annette Broderick. And yeah, obviously not a lot of value here, not the book that I wanted. And so really, really disappointed. But I mean, I'm gonna definitely read it. It's super short, and of course I'll end up reading it, but just a little bit disappointed. But it says 6 years ago, the magic of Christmas had disappeared forever for Natalie Phillips. On Christmas Day, her young dreams had shattered, and she'd been parted from the man she loved, Tony D'Angelo. Now Natalie was back home for the holidays. Christmas time, a time to spend with loved ones, a time of warmth and giving, a time of peace. Unfortunately, Natalie hadn't been able to find much peace until she saw Tony again. Suddenly, the magic returned, and with it, Natalie found that yes, there really is a Santa Claus, and the greatest gift of all was Tony's love. So, obviously, just a little romance, and it's not even in good shape. Like, the back, it has a bunch of dents, like, that goes through to the pages. I don't know if you can see that there. And the spine's a little bit damaged. I mean, not bad shape by any means, but it's like you sent me the wrong book. It doesn't have much value, and then it's damaged to boot. So, luckily, like I said, they refunded me for that. They're not able to reorder, like, just instead of giving you a refund, resending out the book for whatever reason. So you have to get a refund and then reorder, unfortunately. So I ended up doing that, and like I said, they ended up sending me 2 copies of this. So clearly something's messed up in their data system, but I have 3 of these now. Obviously 2 I'm gonna send out the door and donate somewhere. So that is the first one. This next one I only got, so my mom didn't really censor us too much as kids. Like, she wasn't all that worried about that kind of thing. And she kind of let me would allow me to read her books. Like, she didn't have a big collection, but I was allowed to read them if I wanted to. And this was the only book she told me that I was not allowed to read. So it's called Mandarin Orange Sundae by Angelique Duran. And I did look this up a while ago because it's been stuck on my mind, I think, because I wasn't allowed to read it. Like, it just kind of stuck in my mind. I was always kind of intrigued by it. And so I looked it up a while ago, and it was kind of pricey. Like, it is a bit rare, and it was a little bit pricey. So when I came across it, it was $16. I was like, I have to get it. Like, I just have to get it. And I kind of, when I got it, because I was curious, I did flip through to kind of see why I wasn't, and Yeah, it's a lot of spice there and a lot of, like, cursing. It's very kind of vulgar. And so I see why my mom didn't want me to read this. Very, very cheeky, but I am gonna sit down now that I'm an adult and I am gonna read this. And like I said, I ended up getting another copy of this. This one is actually in pretty good shape. It is a little bit discolored with age, which is normal, a little bit of creasing here on the pages and whatnot, but um for the most part it's in good shape, so can't ask better than that. This next one they said was in good shape and it's clearly not, so I ended up, they gave me a refund on this and told me just to keep the book, and the book itself isn't too bad. The spine is like a little bit coming apart, or the binding, I guess, but it's the dust jacket that is just, I mean, it's falling apart. Like it's ripped here, just completely falling apart. But this is Thornbirds by Colleen McCullough. And this one I wanted to get. My mom had mentioned a book called Thornbirds, and there was something about an ex-priest. She said it was written by an ex-priest, which is not the case, but there is an ex-priest in it. I couldn't find any books that fit the bill. And based on what she told me of the premise of the book, this seems to fit the bill. So, give me 1 second. The cat's trying to sneak in. Okay, so cat is gone for the moment, though I'm sure she'll try to sneak back in. So yeah, so this one has been kind of on my radar as well, and so I went ahead and got it. Like I said, the the dust jacket's falling apart, but at least it has a dust jacket. I mean, that's something. And other than that, it's in pretty good shape. There is a little bit damage to like the corners of the book itself, but not in bad shape at all. And so I was happy, I wasn't expecting a refund on this one. I was just letting them know it wasn't in the condition that they said it was, and they ended up giving me a refund. And then, like I said, they sent me another copy. So yeah, I have this one now, and I really am excited to read this one for sure. And so there's that one. The next one is the one that kind of got lost. Um, this was the last book I needed. Like you said, it's a collection of the short stories for the Dresden Files. We already had side jobs and I needed briefcases, so I ordered it. It's new, and like I said, it got lost. It ended up with their partner and did not move through the system for a long time. And like I said, I was getting all my other books and such, so I was like, "What's happening?" And then all of a sudden, it shows up, but it took a while to process at the closest distribution center, and then it ended up at my get out. Sorry. Then it ended up at my post office, and then immediately got sent back out saying it was returned to sender. So I called, they gave me a refund, I reordered it, and by the time the other was already moving through the system, this showed up. So not really sure what happened there. The package wasn't damaged at all or anything like that. So I have no clue what happened, but it ended up coming, and now I have 2 copies of this as well. So um the next four I got, so that was the additional order that I had done, with the wrong book and everything else. And then I went ahead and I had a free credit. So you kind of build up credit with those books and you get a credit for a free book. There is a little bit of a time limit on when you need to use it by, if I'm recalling right. At least there was. I didn't really look for this one. I just assumed it was the same. And so I did another order. And so the next book I got was one that I've been seeing all over BookTube and I've been really interested in because it's been compared to like the Breakfast Club, the movie, and so I really wanted it. This was supposed to be in very good condition. It's not. Doesn't have a dust jacket. The corners, again, not too bad, but a little bit of damage to the corners, and it's dirty. So that is One of Us is Lying by Karen McManus. And yeah, a little bit disappointed by this one. There's some scratches on the cover. And like I said, there is some damage. Not bad. Like, that would be fine with me, but it was listed as very good condition. And then there's some random grossness, like, on some of the pages and such. So yeah, they did end up refunding me this one. This one they did not send a duplicate copy of because it was in a different order than the one that they messed up the book. So I at least have this to read. I am happy about that. So that's something. And then the next three, I came across two of these when I was doing my shopping, but they were hardback. And so I ended up not getting them. And I was kind of kicking myself because this is a series I want to get to soon because everybody's rereading this author this year. This series, and then also the Infernal Devices series. And so I got the last three in the Mortal Instrument series. So we have City of Fallen Angels, City of Lost Souls, and City of Heavenly Fire. Unfortunately, why the last one is paperback, it's not the same editions as the other ones, which the first three I have these editions. And so they all match, and then I have this one that doesn't quite match, but as I mentioned before, that really doesn't bother me too much. I mean, yes, it's always pleasing if you can get matching sets, but it really doesn't bother me. I'm just happy to have the paperback because they're easier to read and they're easier to fit on my shelves. Like, there's very few authors that I want the hardcover of. So yeah, happy to have these as well. And next is kind of the reorders. So like I said, I reordered the Silhouette Summer Sizzlers, and they sent me two copies of the same book. So again, something's messed up in their system. These ones are actually in a little bit better shape. This one has somewhere where you can see that somebody read it, but this one's pretty good, and so these two are the ones I'll donate. But yeah, have those. And then I'm actually kind of pleased with this one, except it's in rough shape. But they sent me another copy of Mandarin Orange Sundae. And so yeah, I am kind of pleased, but this one's in a lot rougher shape. It's a lot more worn on the spine as well, and just kind of dirty overall. But like I said, it is kind of rare, so I'm not mad about having two copies of this one. So there is that. And then this copy of Thornbirds is in slightly better shape, and I just noticed on the hardcover there is a little etching. I don't think it'll show up. Yeah, you can kind of see it on camera of a little tree there. And so they sent me another copy of this. This one, again, the binding's kind of coming apart, but it's also in pretty good shape. Like I said, it just doesn't have the dust jacket. So there's that one. And then I got my copy of Briefcases. So now I have two copies of this. We're going to see if anybody in the family wants the extra copy. And if not, I'm not sure if I'll donate it or maybe do like my first little giveaway here. So if you're interested in it, I'll definitely leave me a comment just in case. And then the other book I got, my husband has this somewhere, but I've been wanting to get to these. I've noticed a lot of people, again, starting to reread them here on BookTube. We have the Lord of the Rings series, but we don't know where his copy of The Hobbit is. So I went ahead and picked this up. They were doing a deal on this, and like I said, I needed another book so I didn't have to pay shipping. And when they messed up on Briefcases, it was after, I had already reordered for the Silhouette Summer Sizzlers, and I had already added books, so I didn't have to pay shipping. And so I mentioned that to her, and she's like, "Oh no, I'll do a credit so you don't have to worry about shipping." And I wish I had known that for the other two, but that's okay. So anyway, we got The Hobbit. So I think the way I'm gonna do it, I'm gonna read this one first and then read the other three. I've never read the books. I've seen the movies multiple times. Rewatch them every year and a half to 2 years. So, and then the last one I'm actually really excited about because I did not know it existed, and so this is kind of really does complete my Nora Roberts collection, and it's the official Nora Roberts companion. And so there's an introduction by Nora Roberts and a foreword by Julie Garwood, and then it's edited by Denise Little and Laura Hayden, and Laura is like her assistant essentially. So, and this is so cool. It has a bunch of pictures in it. And then it just tells you like all about the different books. It has pictures. I'm going to try to find one with multiple pictures of the different editions. So it has like the different editions that were released and just information on each book, which is so cool. And then my favorite part, which I'll show you once I get back here, is that they have the family trees, which is very handy if I can find them. That would be helpful. I think I skipped over them. Let me go backwards a little bit. And yeah, and then it has just some stuff about like Nora Roberts' travels, and everything like that. So yeah, so you have like family trees back here too, which makes it a lot easier to keep track of that. So like I said, I didn't even know this existed, and I am so excited it does. It's in good shape, other than it is a little bit dirty, like on the cover, but not too bad. Like nothing I'm concerned about. So I have this to add to the collection, and will make it so much easier as I kind of reread these books and kind of deep dive a little bit more into them. So that is the complete final haul. Like I said, I am good. There are some other books that are part of series, but if I enjoy them, I'm just gonna put them on my list because they're series I need to complete. But I will keep them in mind as far as my 25 Days of Bookmas books goes. But for now, I'm really, really happy with what I got. And like I said, we're going to take the rest of the summer at least. Might do a little mini haul at my birthday, but for the most part, just let our bank account recover. So I'll go ahead and leave you here. I'm going to jump in. I just finished rereading The Three Fates by Nora Roberts, and I have my discussion questions ready to go. So not sure if that will be already out or after this, but definitely keep an eye out for that. And yeah, go ahead and leave you guys here. Happy reading, everyone. Bye.